Now, I want you to listen to what Nas had to say following the videotape beating of Chicago honor student Darian Albert. He says, in what's called an open letter to young warriors in Chicago, Nas writes, I remember feeling like I was the hardest in-word breathing, and I couldn't wait to prove it. But let's think. What are we really proving? And proving what to whom? Everybody knows Chicago breeds the youngest of the strong, but the strongest of the strong. But I just feel me, being your brother from another state, feels your pain. If I grew up with you in a very own household, you have the ability and mind power to change the way we are looked at. Nas is with us tonight to talk about that. You know, people talk about the lyrics, and you hear that, and you would think maybe some of the kids may think that that's glorified to do some of the things that you're doing in your songs. Do you feel any responsibility in that way?
I feel it's the obvious thing for the media to kind of point out what are the most violent lyrical records that I made other than records. I made a lot of records about children. Not a lot, but I made records about children, about struggle, and those are never the songs that I talked about. There's no love for those songs. There's only love, or there's only attention put on the songs where there's violence in it. But the reality is, I'm only speaking about reality.
Okay, so I'll ask you again, in light of this, when you see this, do you think, let me ask you this, do you think in some way that you may change some of the lyrics that you write, or is this art, this is real? You don't think the kids are influenced by that?
Never, never. You know, music comes from life. I write about what I see, I write about what I lived, I write about what I see other people live, and I use a little bit of imagination to talk to them.
Do you think it influences the violence at all?
No, not at all.
Why not?
Because violence was here. This is the law of the land. If you watch Gangs of New York, if you look at history, violence and war has been the things that's even built this country. I mean, a rap song in the 21st century influencing violence is a joke.
Mm-hmm. We spoke to the mom, Darian Albert's mom, and she heard about what you did. We actually told her about what you did and what some other folks are. Do we have the soundbite where we talked to her? She said she didn't think anybody cared. And so she was surprised that people really cared, especially people in the entertainment industry. But she did say, she did believe that some of the influence, some of what influenced the young people to act the way they did was popular culture, movies, rap, and what have you. You don't think that she's right in that sense?
Absolutely. I mean, when you look at Scarface, you look at Goodfellas and Godfather, even though they're telling you about the truth and talking about real situations, those movies are inspiring. But in this day and age, in the 21st century, we seen Feds magazine, we saw American Gangster on BET, we know the ending of the story, and I'm just like, I'm bugging out that kids don't really realize it's a new day, it's a new time.
So then how do you get across to them? Is it, do you compose new music in your next album or other artists to talk to those kids directly about that? So what's your solution as an entertainer?
The good die young, man, and I'm always going to talk about that in my music. In my music, I'm talking about kids, and I'm talking about what I've been through. And I'm not going to change my music to make it more positive, because that's not real. I got to make what's real.
Well, I don't mean positive, but to influence. If you know these kids are listening to you.
I think I personally already have.
What I'm asking you, is there something, is this some sort of catalyst or inspiration to write about this in your music?
This specific incident with this brother, man, it definitely is a reason. It definitely makes me want to record, but I don't want to jump all over the situation musically. You know, I'm really here beyond music. I'm here because I always cared about people and love. I always cared about our plight and where we're going.
I'm going to ask you this. I was there last night, and I was talking to people who are from Chicago who were asking for help, and they said, you know, where are the big entertainers, the rap artists? Where's Kanye West, who's from Chicago, Common, who's from Chicago, all these other people who are from Chicago? Why haven't we heard from those people? Why aren't they here helping? What do you say to that?
I say they want to help. I say they're willing to help. I say they're ready to help. I think there's just, there needs to be, maybe I can call them out, we can go out, or maybe they're already setting something up. I think they care about the people, and we are them. We relate to them, and we love them, and I think that there may be something brewing.
Thank you, Nas. Appreciate you taking your time coming in here. Thank you very much.
18-year-old honor student. His name was Darian Albert, for those that haven't heard. He was beaten to death outside of a Chicago community center in broad daylight by a group of teens, his own peers. His tragic death has shocked the nation, and a lot of people are starting to speak out. One of those people is a hip-hop artist who's written an open letter to all the young people out there that were involved in that violence. So we brought him on the show to speak to us today. Please, 106 & Park, welcome Nas.
What up?
What's up, homie? First of all, thank you for coming on the show, man. We appreciate it.
Definitely.
Man.
Yeah.
So what did you think when you initially heard this story, man?
I heard the story. It's like a story like I heard before, seen it before, been there before, know what that's like. You know what I'm saying? I just felt for the parents. You know what I mean? It's like we growing up in a crazy age, and you know, I just felt like writing this thing. I do this blog every once in a while on this company, Global Grind. You know what I'm saying? So
Russell,
I try to, yeah, that's Russell Simmons joint. Shout out to Russell, and yeah, I just was feeling it. I saw what happened, and you know what I mean, it just touched me. So I just wrote about it. And I've been getting so much feedback, so much good feedback from a lot of TV networks that, and BT call. I'm like, yeah, I'm there. So, you know.
Well, we appreciate it, man. It's a really intricate letter, very introspective. What do you want kids at home to take away from that letter when they read it?
You know, when I wrote it, I didn't think about who I didn't know who would read it. I just wrote from the heart and just, you know, just said what I was feeling. You know, I stated it like young warriors. That's what we are. You know what I'm saying? The boys and girls growing up in, whether you're from Chicago or from LA or from, you know, New York, you know, we all young warriors. We've been born in a storm. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, it's a lot of things out there that's out to get us. It's a lot of traps out there. And the reality of it is only us that's filling up the prisons, man. So it's like, you know, how long can we sit back and just watch us being loaded up in the prisons?
Exactly. We like our own worst enemy sometimes. Let's take a look at some of the excerpts from this this letter you wrote. Let's take a look at it on the screen. Feel to pull up. We choose the dumbest things to go the hardest for. I remember seeing deaths over 8-ball jackets, Fila sneakers, and nameplate chains. Deaths over he say, she say. Does it bother you to see this next generation succumb into the same things that your generation went through and the generation before yours, especially in the year of a black president and all of this positivity going on? Does it bother you to see that still happening?
Yeah, it bothers me, yo. We got at least three years of Barack, 3 years and 3 months, like with Barack here, and that's enough time for us to figure a lot of things out. See, all of that stuff is kind of played out, killing each other. That's played out. You know what I'm saying? We've seen the movies, we read the Feds magazines, we know how the story ends from the Alpos and the Rich Porters and dudes around my way, even Supremes and all of that. We know how the story ends if we're not on the right track, because there's a lot of forces out there that's trying to put us inside of jail or in the early grave other than ourselves. So why would we help that enemy out?
We see we know the end of the movie, but it's like we still gotta live it out.
We still want to live it out.
Yeah.
It's just we want to live it. You know what I mean?
Let's take another look at a portion of this letter as well. We gotta get on our jobs and take over the world. Because this movie left the theater years ago. Like you mentioned, you got Juice, Menace, Boys in the Hood, Blood and Blood Out, Belly. We could take it all the way back to Scarface. I mean, but when you look at some of these movies, you was in Belly. Do you feel like it's the responsibility of the people that are in these movies and in the hip-hop industry? Does some of this kind of fall on our shoulders since we talk about the guns and talk about the violence so much?
A little bit, because we benefit from it. We make money from it. So that means we can't leave the hood out. The hood need the love. You know what I'm saying? We can't just go off, move off behind the white picket fence and forget the hood. That's what made us. But it's really not, it's not our responsibility. Y'all feel me on that? Yeah, I'm saying.
But how do we balance? Because I struggle with this every day, even when I play the videos and everything, and then you see some of the, you know, the young ladies want to be like that. They talk about the guns and the drugs, and then you see the young men, and you kind of feel that guilt. How do we balance that?
I mean, it's up to every individual. You got to know within yourself, like, you know, you can't blame it on hip-hop. You can't blame it on nothing like that. You got to say, I got to take the initiative. I got to be the first person. It got to start with me. and then it start with my homie, and then we all build, and then we all teach each other, and we all learn how to, you know, maintain and how to grow. We can't fall no more. We got to really take responsibility and say enough is enough. Black on black crime is just really the worst thing at this point. Is a disgrace to the struggle. Is a period, a point blank period. Is a whole disgrace to the struggle of the people who try to lay it down before us. And I can't sit here and just sit up here, papered up, and then act like I don't see what's going on, because it touches me.
Definitely. So look, we're going to talk more with Nas right after this number 7 video. Here go the clips. Pharrell, I'm good. We're here with Nas. He's written an open letter to the young people involved with the violent beating death of Chicago teenager Darian Albert. And we was talking during the break. You know what I think made the situation worse is you always hear the gang violence, you always hear stuff happening, but when we saw the footage, you took a look at the
footage. Yeah, I saw some of it. Yeah.
It's crazy.
And without that footage, I probably wouldn't even be feeling it the way I'm feeling it. You know what I mean? Because it happened all the time. So with the footage, I saw it on the news. You know what I mean? It made me really write my blog, write the letter I wrote to the young warriors.
And people had the cameras and was taping it, and I'm like, damn, the person taping it couldn't even put the camera down and run over and help. Like, where's the line drawn between, you know, taping it and looking at it and somebody stepping in and say, this kid's gonna die?
I mean, he's probably scared, you know what I'm saying? I'm sure he had to feel something with the camera, you know, and if he didn't have that camera, you know, the impact wouldn't be as strong, you know?
Very true. All right, so we're gonna take another quote from your letter. Warriors, and instead of building each other up, we are at war with each other. May the soul of this young person find peace with the Almighty. I'm with you, young warriors. You're me and I'm you. But trust me, you are fighting the wrong war. You said they're fighting the wrong war. How can they, young people out there, channel that energy and that anger into positivity and do productive things?
Fighting the wrong war, we fighting each other. You know, instead of looking for a job, we need to look for a career. We need to create our own jobs. There ain't no jobs out there for us that really is gonna satisfy us. We gotta create our own jobs. It ain't just selling mixtapes. It ain't always gonna be music. It ain't always gonna be athletics. You know what I'm saying? It's not about a hustle all the time. It's about really working to build up things that you think, that you may imagine and you think can't become reality, but the real is you can do anything you want to do. We have the mind power. It's our world. We have the knowledge. We have the resources. We can do whatever we want. I've been around the world. I wish I could take my hood with me to the places I've been to see all of these things, all these places that we have influence. You know what I'm saying? Look at us. It's BET. We don't even have to call it BET no more. It don't have to be black entertainment. We know who we are. You know, the award shows, the ratings on the BET award shows surpass MTV and everybody. So it's beyond black. We already established we black. We American now. So what we have to do is make the whole world know that we know what we've given the world. The whole world is doing what we do. You know what I'm saying? So we don't have no more time left to kill each other. Thugging is... We're going to thug, but it's the majority of that is played out. It's time for a new day. We got Barack in office in Chicago. I got love for you, but in Chicago is where the most deaths is happening in the whole America.
Exactly.
So Chicago, I really want y'all to help us make all Americans better, make African Americans better, and really right now take control of your destiny.
I'm with you. You know, we're going to speak with the producers. We got to get out there. You and me, and we may have to call Jay and Puff and the whole hip-hop and Russell, yeah. And we might have to go to Chicago. You recently welcomed a son into this world.
Yeah. Shout out to my son, Knight.
What are you gonna instill in him so that hopefully he can lead the next generation and not succumb to the same things that this generation is going through?
I mean, you know, he's got a job ahead of him, but you know, he's gonna be cool because I definitely, as long as I'm here, I definitely want to tell him the right things. You know, I've seen too many people. I've seen the murderers. I've known them. I've seen the people, the victims get killed. I've known them. So it's like, since I've seen that, I gotta be able to, you know, school him on what to look out for and what he can become, because other things gotta be cool to us rather than just holding iron. Other things gotta be cool to us, because if we change things that's cool to us, we can flip everything around and get into our position where we're supposed to have been years ago. So I want to tell him that.
I don't think you could have said it any better. Give it up one more time for Nas. Nas, you're our
Thank you,
first
man.
guest on the show talking about this, but this is an open letter for the rest of the hip-hop community. You actors, you athletes, you rappers, come on the show. We appreciate you so much
Thank
for
you.
stepping up to the forefront and writing that letter. Hopefully we'll make some baby steps towards the right direction.
Yeah,
For
love.
more information on this story, what we want you to do is log on to BET.com. They can also log on to Global Grind to see the
Grind.
rest of the letter as well, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
All right, so make sure you read the letter. It's a really good one. We're going to take a quick break. We got the new joint of the day coming up next. Nas in the building on BET's 106.